Alright, I think we're finally at the end. Holy crap. Really? You make me play one last decision game. Alright.
I knew it! Looks like the memories we regained are true after all.
So this is after they...
The three wards were all in the same place.
This is after they remembered and hugged each other?
Then...
Oh hey, we all woke up. Must be the Force Quit box, actually.
Carlos!
Holy shit.
Akane.
I forgot Junpei beat the shit out of him.
And Mira, and Eric.
And you're Sean, right?
Carlos. What happened?
Oh hey, where's Q?
Proof of friendship.
Anyway, what are you guys doing here?
According to the schedule, C-Team and Q-Team should both still be asleep.
We took a page out of your book and did what you did. We used the cards to keep the bracelet needle from injecting us.
So, does that mean?
Yeah. I remember everything.
I do too. Junpei and I as well.
Over the past few hours, we got back the memories we forgot.
Well, to be more accurate, it's more like we accessed the morphogenetic field and downloaded all of them.
Then you have the other history's memories too?
Yes.
Man, let me tell you, downloading those memories really messed with my data
You're
plan.
like us.
But why?
Hold up. Eric and I are different.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for acknowledging this.
We didn't gain memories from other histories.
Yeah, because you're just normal
Then
people.
neither of you got injected?
No, we're the same as Carlos and the others.
I told them. Maybe I'll start from the beginning.
Please.
First, so I could run the program in the Force Quit box, I accessed the central control computer. Then, I briefly turned off the communication network. That way, I stopped the surveillance cameras from sending any data to Zero.
Oh, that's what the...
I didn't want Zero to catch on
blackout
to what
was.
we were doing.
And that's when Sean let us in on the truth of what's going on here.
We
Not
went over
that
to
you
the
needed to
transporter
know,
room
Mira.
and picked up 2 cards.
Right.
Before the injection, we each slipped one between our wrist and bracelet.
Okay. Now you two make sense. But what about you, Sean?
Well, you probably already know, but I'm a robot. Being injected does nothing to me.
Then,
Every time the time limit approached, I was forced to go into sleep mode.
This makes sense.
Then my memories from the previous 90 minutes were deleted.
It's very simple,
I
but it
didn't
works.
want that to happen, so... You remember me saying I accessed the computer? Well, I hacked my own system too.
He said he managed to cancel the forced sleep and delete functions.
What about C-Team then?
We couldn't interrupt the surveillance cameras, so we had to be sneaky instead.
That's why you did that?
First, Carlos
Oh my
pushed me down
God.
and climbed on top of me.
He what?
It was just an act. I was only pretending to do it.
Carlos used that moment to whisper in my ear. He said to go to the transporter room and grab the cards in there.
But if I just let her go like that, it looks suspicious. So Junpei and I stayed behind to get Zero's undivided attention. I casually invited Junpei to the power room.
Oh my god.
You can see the results of our conversation.
You should have told me what was up.
Well, then you would hold
If
back.
I had, then Zero would have figured it out. You look like you'd be a crap actor.
And after that?
We met Akane in the lounge. We hid from the cameras and each got a card from her.
Oh my god, this is... Alright, this all makes sense, actually. I'm fine.
sorry,
I'm fine
but
with this. I am
Could
not
get
fine with
confirmation
Q.
on something? Everyone knows what all happened in the other histories, right?
Yeah, we saw you and Sigma poem.
Even you, Mira and Eric?
Didn't Eric say so earlier? Sean told us everything.
But wait. Why?
Why what?
Why do we know about the other histories?
Well, that's probably...
You want to know?
Oh, hi Q, how you doing? It's nice that you suddenly exist, huh?
Q? Or maybe it's actually Zero.
You are free to call me by my given name, which is Delta. There's no need to look so threatening. You were the one who named me, Diana.
Bum bum bum.
It doesn't matter. I shall answer your question. Carlos, Akane, Junpei, Diana, Phi, and Sigma. All 6 of you know that you are shifters, correct? Think back on your path to this very moment.
Yeah, there was a lot of shifting.
Did you arrive in this history by following a normal flow of time? No, of course you didn't. You jumped in from another history using your shift abilities. And it wasn't just this once. You have been shifting back and forth many, many times.
Especially Phi
One
and Sigma.
point in space-time to another. You boldly took chances, much like jumping from one tree branch to another. You have forgotten that fact, perhaps as a result of the medicine, or as one of the side effects of shifting. Regardless, your memories have been kept firmly intact within the morphogenetic field. It is simply that the 6 of you regained the memories of those times. One small trigger, and the levee preventing you from remembering collapsed. Sean is a similar case. However, his thought center is located within the quantum computer, so I suppose it's slightly different from you.
What about me and Mira?
You are both like me, in that we do not have the ability to shift.
What? Then how do you know about timelines?
Don't?
I have another power instead. The power to mind hack.
Excuse
Mind
me?
hack?
That's what you did before? Alright.
I am able to read other people's minds. I know the thoughts and ideas that go through their heads. That's why I know exactly what Phi is trying to do right now. Step away from that device, Phi.
Then, when we blocked the injection,
I saw through your ruse.
Then why did you...
I wanted all of you to play the final decision game.
The final decision game?
I find human decisions fascinating. More specifically, the world branching that occurs as a result.
Yeah, but it's just giving me a headache
I
so far.
already mentioned that I am unable to shift. But after looking inside millions of minds, I learned one thing.
People are
There
perverted.
are people in this world with the ability to jump between histories. That shifters exist. Hence, why I know so much about these parallel worlds.
You did all this because you were curious?
When a person does something significant, it's difficult to boil the reason down to one.
Okay, but then why free the soul and
Their
everything?
motives are often very complex.
Why
It is
Radical
the same
6?
now. To fulfill several objectives, it was necessary to trap all of you in here.
So why did you do it?
You want to know? It is so you give birth to Phi and myself, Diana.
What do you mean?
Long story, Eric.
Phi and I are the children of Diana and Sigma.
Why are
Phi is...
Why are you so much older?
Wait,
I didn't even think of that.
they're children?
November 16th, 2029. Phi and I were born in this shelter. This was another history, of course. Shortly after, the atomic data that makes up our bodies was transported to April 1904. The transporter was located in a German research facility at that time. Our bodies reconstructed and regenerated in the export pods at that facility.
But that would mean you're actually...
German?
I'm 124.
You're joking.
But Phi is...
A German researcher sent her to 2008. Records indicate that she was part of an experiment.
You're saying Phi jumped back in time from 2029 to the year 1904? And then forward again to 2008?
Technically, what was sent both times was simply the data makeup of Phi's body.
I heard that in 2008, the device was being studied in an American facility.
That's when an old couple who were researchers took me in.
Okay, that's an
We've
explanation,
gone
but
off topic.
why are you 124?
Yes, that was one of the.
Were you like
main
genetically
rules.
modified or some crap?
Everything that occurred here helped create Phi and myself. And when I say that, I am including all of the other histories. If I hadn't trapped the group of you here, then Phi and I would have never been born in our current forms.
Your current forms?
Sean, you should already know about epigenetics. You see, environmental factors determine which switches are activated within the genetic code. Reproductive cells are the same. Or perhaps I should say that the reproductive cells are the ones most affected.
Oh, I get it. That's why you made Diana and Sigma play the decision game.
What do you mean?
By backing them into a crisis situation, he caused an epigenetic change within their reproductive cells. I think that's why their children were born with unique powers.
Gold Star. This is the reason I have my mind-hacking abilities.
Which has never been shown
was
before in
affected
the
as well.
series, so a
You
little weird.
were born a shifter.
I mean, fair enough, shifting wasn't a thing in the first game, but then it wasn't the second, so...
DT, do you recall what was written on your wall?
Curious Hate oozes calamity.
When a curious hate oozes calamity.
And rearranging the letters gives you...
Got me.
No way. What you choose can materialize us.
Our decisions will bring you to life.
That is why the decision games were held. So that the Phi and me, here now, would materialize exactly the way we are.
Then why Radical 6? Why free the soul?
No, but
You're still not explaining
okay,
this.
So I get why you had to have Diana and Sigma go through life or death decisions. But the rest of us had nothing to do with...
I already told you. My motives are complex.
It's far too complex to be explained in this game.
There's more?
Fuck you, you goddamn old man!
Fuck, no!
There's the athletic spy spirit at work. I haven't seen that since she dropkicked Dio on the moon. Oh no, don't let Eric have the shotgun.
It's over.
You may be right.
What?
Diana, take this. Put it in.
Nice catch.
Your bluebird, too.
It's ready.
Verified. Key items were set. Executing force quit process.
Oh, why does that not sound good?
10 minutes until explosion.
What?
Oh no!
The hell? What is this?
You never let me explain what the force quit is.
Hey, answer me! What's with that announcement?
Must I explain? This shelter will soon explode. You've worked so hard, only to turn on this facility's self-destruct mechanism.
Sean, access the central control computer.
It's no use. Once the Force Quit program has been activated, there is no possible way for you to reverse it.
Then what can we do?
I will tell you two good things.
Oh, this ought to be
First,
wonderful.
I suggest checking behind the bar counter.
Oh.
Free beer!
No!
Why would you?
Gab.
What?
Gab's been...
Did you kill Gab?
Yes, with the shotgun you're holding. There wasn't much life left in him anyway.
You monster!
I never expected to hear that coming from you, Sean.
So what's the other thing?
Yeah,
You
that's
had
some good
two
news.
things to tell us.
I have the ability to mind hack,
We already know that.
but I've not told you everything about it. Reading other people's thoughts isn't the only thing I can do with mind hacking. It only lasts a moment, but I am able to control someone's body as I wish. Like this.
Eric! Why?
No, for real, my finger just...
Mind hacking.
Understand now. This is my power.
I'm bleeding, therefore I win!
So, let's begin. Your final decision game. You have two choices.
Oh wow, this hurts worse than I thought.
And wait to die,
The other is... The other...
Hey! What's the other option? What's the other option?
Leaving? I don't know.
Until explosion.
What should we do?
What about the X door?
And how exactly should we open it? Unless 6 people die, it's gonna stay closed. Or should we start killing each other now?
Mira?
So are we just not acknowledging Mira as a serial killer? I mean, we said
have
we
an
remembered
idea.
everything.
Which is?
We're going to shift, all of us, together.
Except Mira and Eric. You're
Hey,
shit out
hold
of
on.
luck.
Like jumping to another history?
But Eric and I...
I'm sure it will be fine.
You'll just die horrible
Remember what I
death.
said? Human consciousness may be a result of quantum effects in the brain.
Oh, yeah. You said if certain conditions are met, we can also...
What are the conditions?
First, you need to be exposed to danger.
Okay, check.
And the other one is...
To be in the vicinity of a group of shifters.
I get it. We'll resonate, and then Mira and Eric can...
But which history are we going to jump to?
None of the similar histories will work. One team is likely to be dead after the vote.
And we can't shift if there are no bodies for us to jump to, right?
Can we go back to decom?
Then... we need to jump to where all of us are alive.
When we're all alive.
Have we,
Do you mean...
have we never tried jumping to decom before? Is that just not an option? Can we not go that far back?
The history, where we won the coin toss.
So that's why that fragment's not finished. That makes sense. Okay.
3 minutes until explosion.
I'm not sure I get it all, but it's a good idea?
What are you saying? There's no way we could do that.
Why not?
Shift isn't simply jumping into bodies in different histories.
Our consciousnesses swap places. Ours for theirs.
We'll be forcing our other selves into these bodies, and they'll die without knowing why.
It hasn't stopped us before.
Yeah, and what's wrong with that?
What?
Well, they're all living without a care off in another history, yeah? One time, they do the coin toss once and win? Don't you think that's unfair?
Mira, you're saying they, but we're talking about ourselves here.
Well, we should consider if those people really are us.
Do we have time for this philosophical debate?
Good point. If we assume that we here are the true versions, then the us and the other history are essentially strangers.
Even more of a reason not to.
If we shift to that history, then we're tossing the others under the bus to save ourselves.
Again, hasn't stopped us
and that
before.
history have done nothing wrong. I mean, the only thing they did was win at a coin toss.
You could say the same for us. The only thing we did was lose a coin toss. Even so, we've had to go through so much shit. We've been forced to put our lives on the line.
Besides,
30
aren't the
seconds
bodies
until
in the other
explosion.
histories ours anyway?
Then why should we second guess ourselves?
So the final decision game is just, do you want to kill yourselves?
Until explosion.
We're out of time.
Do you want to die or do you want to kill yourselves?
We have 2 choices. We can stay here and wait for our deaths, or survive by sacrificing our other selves in another history.
Why are we having this debate now? This is so... Ugh.
The final decision game.
Oh my god. Just do it. Again, this hasn't stopped us before, so why should we hesitate now? You know? I'll go back and do the don't shift option later. But, come on, just give me the good ending.
Damn, I can't remember anything.
Me neither.
Neither can I.
It somehow feels like I'm in a bet with someone, but...
Someone?
What kind of bet?
Did we all forget what happened?
Hey, could I ask all of you something?
Can I borrow a heart?
Who is this kid?
We have arrived! Was there even a spirit thing for Robot Sean? Oh, did Q do this to shift himself? I'm sorry, I keep calling him Q, Delta. Did Delta do this to be surrounded by shifters and shift himself by getting himself shot?
Did we do it?
We're not wearing the bracelets, so I don't know the time. But
Judging by the position of the sun, it's probably noonish.
And the date?
How would I know?
Hey, Mira. Eric. Do you remember me?
I don't know, take off your
Yeah.
head.
I definitely remember you.
Then we really did.
Oh, must have worked.
Life is unfair. Don't you think?
Hey, Gab's alive.
You bastard.
17 years ago, a snail traveled down a narrow path in the park.
Man, you cannot let go of this snail
If
thing.
that snail hadn't been there, perhaps all of you here would have lived a completely different life than you did. Just one small snail, and everyone's lives, even the world, changed.
So, what's the big deal?
Ugh, would you just quit talking nonsense?
I'm so glad you were safe.
Of course we were. You all have shifted in from another history.
Whatever. We gotta call the cops.
And what exactly will that accomplish?
Hello, 911. This guy
Isn't it
kidnapped us in
obvious?
another history.
We're throwing you in the slammer.
He didn't do anything.
And my crime?
He didn't do anything in this
Murder.
timeline.
Murder? I see. But I haven't killed anyone. Specifically, in this history, not a single person has died.
Well, even Radical
I
6 is still
strongly
under
doubt
control.
The police would listen.
But in the other histories, you...
Did you not pay attention? I don't have the ability to shift. The
Did no
only
one
reason
notice
I
this
know
guy's purple
anything
eyes
of those
before?
histories is because I mind hacked you. In effect, the me you know is a different person than the one before you.
I still hate you both, though.
Can I be charged for killing someone in another history? If so, then I'd say this world would be full of criminals of all kinds.
Like, look at all the people Akane killed.
What about conspiracy to commit?
Yeah. I'm betting this history's got a bunch of dangerous machines and gimmicks all over the shelter.
Unfortunately, I have removed them all. You've slept for quite a while. Nothing is left in the shelter. No transporter, no quantum computer. Loaded into a truck and taken away.
Damn, the range on that quantum computer
Sean
to control
is
Sean.
able to move
Damn.
right now due to radio signals received from a satellite.
Oh, he's got 3G quantum computers.
Why? Aren't you happy? I say again, in this history, not a single person has died. Phi and I exist, and there will never be an outbreak of Radical 6. There is only a bright future ahead for all of us.
Hooray!
Is this not what you'd call a happy end?
By the way, do you know how stuffy it is in that Plague Doctor outfit? Man, I'm so glad to be rid of that thing.
But according to you, all of mankind will die if time passes and nothing is done.
Religious fanatic, a terrorist attack that sparks a nuclear war.
I heard this story. You said you released Radical 6 so that you could kill that person.
I lied.
The me before you did not say that, but I can't deny it's true.
Radical 6 won't spread throughout the world in this history.
That means that fanatic guy won't die.
Wait, so now humans will go extinct?
Hey, where's that happy future you mentioned?
Interesting. Does that make you angry, Phi?
What?
If so, then we have a serious contradiction. I had prepared a future in another history where 2 billion would survive. But yet, you decided to jump to this history. That means you chose a future where humanity goes extinct, over 6 billion dead.
No, you're wrong, Delta. Nothing in the future has been determined yet. We'll shape the future with our own hands.
This is so cheesy.
Huh. You said something I can get behind, Carlos.
Not saying that as a bad thing.
I
Sometimes
think so
cheese
too.
is cool.
I agree.
Okay, me too.
Mira.
You're right. The future has infinite possibilities.
Oh, but we should definitely arrest Mira
If
for
we
being a
work
serial
together,
killer.
We can accomplish anything.
Humanity's gonna die out? Screw that.
We'll definitely change that horrible future.
What's so funny?
Just that.
What the hell do you mean?
I'm sure I told you in another history that my motives are complex. Imagine, what if none of you had experienced the events that occurred in the shelter?
Mira would still be killing people. Eric
You're
would still suck.
so determined now to change the future. One of the goals of all of this was to get you into that frame.
And they'll forget in a week like every other New Year's resolution.
It's all going according to plan, without a single casualty. I created a future where mankind will be saved.
Because 9 people want it.
Does that upset you? Are you angry that your life was played with? Very well. I will give all of you one last choice. With that gun there, you will be able to choose whether to kill me now or allow me to leave. I promise I won't use mind hacking on you.
Now back up, bro. You said that was the
You
last
are
decision
free
game
to
we played
decide.
before.
Which shall it be? Pull the trigger, or let me go. The fates of you, me, and mankind are all on the line.
How is mankind on the line? You just said we saved the future
is the
with this.
decision game.
But you said that this is a future where mankind's saved. Delta, you make no sense. God damn it. Okay, so was this the good ending or the bad ending? Is there another decision after this? Oh, God, please, I can only take so much. Should I go ahead and just try not jumping now? Oh, I can't skip this. Damn it. Alright. Let's sit through the credits while we digest everything that happened here. Okay. So. Fuck Delta. Fuck everything about Delta. But in any case, let's... So because 9 people suddenly have the will in them to change the future. One of them's a robot, by the way. Let me scratch that. 8 people and a robot. Now have the... Oh, DC Douglas. I knew I was recognizing that voice from somewhere. Okay. That makes so much sense. Anyways. So, because 9 people, 8 people and a robot, have the will to change the future, now humanity is saved from the one crazy asshole that wanted to start a nuclear war? Also, why are you brother? Why did you start Free the Soul? Why anything? I mean, you could sort of cop out and say, well, he did that just to make sure this would happen. Because, you know, this only worked because Phi and Phi and Sigma traveled from a future where that happened. Sure, but, I don't know, this is just opening a fucking huge Pandora's box of confusing. This whole Delta thing. Ugh. Why? God damn it. And why did you kill Gab? Why was that a thing? I just remembered that. Why did he kill Gab? That makes no sense. What does Gab have to do with anything? Why was Gab always around? Why was Gab chained up that one time? I don't understand. Fuck me, the more I try to understand this plot, the less sense it makes. I thought VLR was complicated, but this is... And I was almost feeling like I understood it at some point before this all happened, too. Before I sat down today and continued from where I left off. Oh my god, fuck Delta. I don't understand anything. So now the question is, do we get an epilogue where we find out what happens after that decision, or do we make that decision, or is it just going to be left up in the air? Oh my god. So technically the game ain't over yet. Still got a bit more to do. You still gotta not shift. We need to see if there's any other like last minute epilogues. Because that was the thing in VLR. There was an epilogue sort of teasing this game. Sort of. Even though I don't know who the hell shifted into Kyle's body. Right? That was the thing? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Can I shift into a history where this makes sense? And I'm not as confused? I still can't can't wrap my mind around fucking Delta and Q. Again, all the rules are thrown out of whack if we assume that he's been there the entire time. You're welcome, Zero Time Dilemma staff. You're welcome. Thank you for confusing us so thoroughly. Alright, so the only thing left to do is to not shift. But first we must debate it for a while. Alright. Everyone seems pretty content with this decision, except for Eric. I still think this decision is kind of stupid. Because again, this hasn't stopped us from shifting all over the damn place before. Alright. Are we good? Are we done? Every section everywhere is clear. C team subject report. Q team subject. Clear all the fragments in each timeline. In each team. Yep, looks like that is everything. Yep, there's the platinum. We have completed Zero Time Dilemma. Alright. So what did I think of this game overall? Hoy. That ending is a mess. That ending is a total mess. Again, I'm going to say the idea of the Delta Q twist, in theory, it's a good twist. I just think it was executed badly. Or like, it's a twist that doesn't like fit here, I guess, is kind of what I want to say with this. I need some music going for this. Let's just pick a spot and play some music. Like, where is there some like Bluebird or some shit? Just so we have something to listen to. Shut up. Alright. I'm not a fan of that twist, but for the most part, everything else in here does work. Mostly. Again, we have the confusing plot points about Radical 6 and Free the Soul in here. I mean, yeah, I can see the argument of he's doing that just to make a future that Phi and Sigma jump back from in order to make sure all these events take place. I can see that, but it feels like a cop-out. It feels like we've been building that, right? We've been building that so much, and in the end, it doesn't matter that much. You know? I think that's what kind of frustrates me about the ending with that. In regard to that, is so many plot threads leading up to this game that just feel like they just kind of get dropped off or just not explained. Like, where did Radical 6 come from? I don't know. Delta just kind of had it. And he just released it in one timeline because it needed to be released in one timeline. You know, again, there that was sort of like a running thread throughout the earlier games as well, is that it's all like this because we need it to be like this, because we saw it to be like this. I don't know, it just kind of bugs me more in this one, I guess. But overall, the game itself isn't bad. Like, I think the room escapes work all right here. Personally, I miss the animated portraits from VLR. I'm sad that those had to go, but everything else about the room escape sequences are fine. I'm kind of disappointed that there's no like easy or hard mode. I don't know why they dropped that. That is really weird. But until the ending, the story's all right. It's interesting. It's worth following. It's an interesting mechanic with the fragment system. You know, it's just that ending, man. And that's the finale to the whole series too. You gotta remember that. I will say this game is not without its flaws, and I'm not just talking about the ending here. Probably the biggest one is that the animations are jank as hell. Like, these are some rough-ass animations on all the characters. I mean, I can forgive it because it's originally a Vita game, and this is just a port. I get that, but even on the Vita, I think there were still better animations on some characters. Maybe it was like an engine thing, or maybe like the dev team just had trouble getting the animations right. I don't know, but they were jank as hell. They were kind of funny in that regard too. I also think the make your decision prompt. You know, the first time you see it when you're at a decision point, cool. But when you're coming back to like try all sorts of different solutions, especially for the ones where you have to enter a name or something, yeah, I get kind of tired of seeing that after a while. I wish that was skippable. But no, yeah, everything else about this is generally alright. I'm still kind of annoyed that we just kind of dropped the whole Mira's a serial killer and she was murdering people in all the teams thing. That, like I said, there's so many plot threads in this that just kind of get dropped. Or they don't get, like, resolved, or they just kind of get hand-waved away, you know? It's frustrating, and this is the finale to the series. You know? The series went on a hiatus and then came back to this. I'm just saying, I like the game overall. It's just as a finale, this is kind of, it leaves a lot to be desired. But yeah, with this, the Zero Escape series is finished. Until like a couple years down the line, they decide to do a 4th volume. Which if they do, I hope it picks up right with Carlos's decision. But until eventually that day comes, this is the end. Now, how would I rate the series overall now that I have to think about it that way? It's hard to say. Personally, I would go with 999 being my favorite, minus the couple quality of life issues the DS version had. After that, this one and VLR are kind of tied. But I think VLR is slightly better, if only because it feels like its story wraps up a bit better, if that makes sense. Like, I don't feel as cheated with the plot twists in VLR. That's a good metric, I think, is that in VLR, the plot twists, they kind of made sense after they were revealed. In this one, not as much. So if I had to go best to worst, it would be 999, VLR, and then ZTD. But that's just my personal opinion. If you disagree, if you think this is an absolute masterpiece and the best in the series, good on ya. Like I said, I like the game, I just think I just think as a finale, it's a little disappointing. But, thank you everybody for watching. This is Dragonite 13, saying farewell. Okay, hold the phone, folks, because there's actually a little bit more to this. Okay, so, apparently, after you get the ending, you can actually go back into the files section under Cinema. There's epilogues. Now, I won't sit here and read them all, but let me just briefly summarize them so any of you who aren't familiar with them can know what happened afterwards. So, Post-Apocalypse is about Sigma and Diana. It takes place a little bit before VLR, where young Sigma has jumped into his body that lost an arm and an eye. And after being with Diana for 3 years, she's dying of a sickness. He admits he loves her, but she says that old him is going to go back in time and meet her for the first time at DCOM, so everything's okay. And that it must be a wonderful history that he's going to. Alright, post-payoff Carlos is, because of his adventures with Akane and Junpei, and he knows more about shifting, he's able to help his sister Maria with her reverie syndrome, which is, as we learned earlier, shifting going out of control. So now she's walking around, being happy, going through rehab. And Carlos is still in contact with Akane and Junpei, and he's even invited to their wedding. But he also vowed to help them catch the terrorist that was going to doom most of the population, according to Delta, assuming he's telling the truth. Post-payoff Akane and Junpei is about Junpei writing a thank you letter to Carlos, where he's also informally inviting him to Akane and Junpei's wedding. Junpei laments the fact that out there's a history where he's still searching for Akane while he's old. But Akane reminds him that the current timeline isn't a dream, that he is allowed to be happy here. And they also mention that Junpei promised Akane's brother that he wouldn't get married until they caught the terrorist. He also mentioned inviting some friends besides the ones they met 6 months ago at DCOM, so a little bit of an implication that they're still in contact with the 999 crew. Alright, Sean, Eric, and Mira is about Eric meeting Mira in prison because she turned herself in, feeling guilty about her murders as the Heart Ripper. So Eric comes visit her, and apparently they got married in jail. And he brings Sean with him, because Sean's still around. Mira says it's good to see him, but then Sean says that even if she spends her whole life in here, she won't be able to atone for all the misery she's caused with her killings. And while she feels sad, Sean then busts through the plexiglass and breaks open a wall in the prison, taking out guards along the way, and says that there is a way for her to atone for everything, and he knows where the transporter room is, so they can go back and stop young Mira from ever beginning the killings. And that's everything. That is everything that has happened in this game, and all the epilogues. I don't know why they reduced these to hidden text instead of having scenes for them. Even if it was just like still images and voice scenes, that would be cool. I don't know, maybe they ran out of time and they couldn't implement it, but yeah, with that is now everything from Zero Time Dilemma. Again, thank you all for watching. This is Dragonite 13 saying, see you all in another history.